gay agenda. Queer news uncensored. Stay tuned.
New theme songs are great. Papa, what you got on the gay agenda this week?
So this week I am going to New York, to the UN.
New York, New York. Okay.
No, we shouldn't do that.
Daddy
either.
shouldn't sing.
So I'm going to the UN, or the UN Commission on the Status of Women, which is a multilateral group of nations that comes together to define, to codify, to develop the policies and proposals put out by the UN as it applies to women. And they were at their 70th meeting. And at that meeting, they overwhelmingly rejected a late U.S. proposal that attempted to redefine gender in a way that would erase trans women from their international policies.
So we're now trying to export our hate.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. So
I'm without words. We set up this segment this way so like we react and have emotional reaction to it. I am just so sick of what we're doing to 1% of this country. That's all we want to talk about. 90% of our legislation is around 1% of our
yeah. So basically what happened is the US put out a proposal that would define gender in these policies and proposals, and as defined strictly as biological sex, as well as proposed over 70 amendments to remove language regarding reproductive health, diversity, and climate change, all of which were rejected. So not only were they rejected, but a group led by Belgium, backed by 25 countries, openly rebuked the United States for trying to play games with...
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And
we deserve to be rebuked.
As a result, the U.S. was the only country to vote against the Commission's agreed conclusions, which is unprecedented.
Of course we were.
It is, and in contrast, I caught this in the same framing. It's worth noting that the European Parliament proactively adopted a resolution affirming that trans women are women, which resultingly positions the UN as a global counterweight to reinforce inclusive gender equality. So, I mean, that's good, right? But here we are in the U.S., just messing it up again. And I thought this was also really important. I Googled, it was really hard to find. Guess what the individual that voted on this as the lead of the U.S. delegation looked like.
They were a white man.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wait, hold on. Cisgender, straight white man.
Yeah.
Oh my, I'm shocked.
So not
in
only
the Trump administration?
Yeah, not only are we going to screw with stuff, but we're not even going to do them the dignity of sending a woman to do it. So,
well, Papa, I guess, since we seem to be a country obsessed with trans people and trans individuals, I'm bringing up two issues that are trans as well. So one is there's a new piece of legislation, because we are still in state legislative season for a few more weeks yet, in Tennessee, that would require public employees, and this is specifically targeted at a teacher, to have to use the vernacular Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. in their classrooms. And this is because there was a teacher. Now, the legislator would say it's not targeted at this teacher, but he said that this legislation was inspired by a teacher in his county who goes by the gender-neutral term Teacher B. So Teacher B also teaches special education. If you have not been paying attention, there is a massive teacher shortage in America right now. It is even worse when you think about special education teachers. So this is a teacher who works with severely disabled children, and you're targeting a piece of legislation because they have said that they prefer to just be Teacher B. And what they've said about their kids is all their kids care about is like, can I trust this adult? Is this adult a safe person for me?
This is like the gnawing curiosity. So what if the teachers are reverend? Will they be allowed to be called reverend, or will they be under this code required to be called like Mr. or Miss or Miss? Like, it's the ridiculousness of these laws. And listen, I am the first that always says, hey, this like legislators and states are freaking crazy. It's like where we sift the sand for who goes up to Congress. And we hope that the stupid falls out of the basket. So just because they propose it doesn't mean it's going to become law, but it's still incredibly hurtful, and it puts people in this place of limbo and fear That is just unfair. And like, what is so wrong about people getting to define what what their honorific is going to be?
Right. Last year, they already passed really regressive bills that restricted trans rights in Tennessee, and this is taking it further. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Let's go to Idaho. Can we talk about
Also,
Idaho?
Along with Reverend, can we also, what if they're a doctor? What if they're college professors? Are they going to state schools? I'm just kind of
Public
curious.
employees. Don't know.
How far does this go?
Don't know. Not well thought out legislation. But
Well, it
let's
never
go to
is.
let's
Never
it
is.
never is.
It's ALEC and their one size
This isn't
fits
even
all
ALEC.
bullshit.
ALEC cares about economic issues. This is just these people are obsessed with trans people. Like I just don't get it.
Well, because they have no policy.
They have no policy.
And all they have is fear.
Yes.
By the way, maybe we should, evaluate some pastors around here, because I saw a thing today, how many trans people or drag queens molested your child in a state, and it said 0. How many pastors? And I think that was 6, and they had to cross it out and put 8. So, maybe we need to reevaluate a lot of things.
So many things. So we're not done. We're not done with this awful. We have friends and family members that are trans. We are clearly trans allies on this. I don't understand the legal obsession by our politicians, other than they have other things. But in Idaho, they want to make it criminal to use the wrong bathroom in public.
Is it public buildings or in public?
Public or private buildings.
Oh, or private
Or
buildings.
private buildings. Public, yeah, public or private buildings. This bill has already passed the state house. It is now overwhelmingly. It is on its way to the Senate, where there's only 14-ish Democrats, so it's probably going to pass the Senate. And not only are they going to criminalize, the penalties are steep. Your first offense is a fine and up to 1 year in jail. If you are caught doing it a second time in 5 years, it's a felony, and you could go to prison for 5 years because of where you peed.
Well, like, I feel like there's a lot of women that should be taking issue at this, who go to events and use men's restrooms. When I was a kid, we were Promise Keepers, which is an all men's group, and they just opened a women's restrooms up. So I'm just curious, like, where does that fit in? I'm interested. I would be interested to see, like, what is the reporting mechanism? Because what a lot of these bills are doing is they're creating
Vigilantes.
public vigilantes. And so, and here's the thing, like, okay. We have a trans family member, is a cousin of Jason's.
Love you, Peter.
Yes, Peter does not look like a woman. And, hasn't for the better part of a decade. Yeah. And so Peter comes out of a restroom, a woman's restroom. He is under this law would be required to use a women's restroom.
With his beard.
With his beard.
That's bigger than mine. I'm jealous
and
of the
so
beard
I'm just
that Peter grows.
Like, so it seems to me that these laws in search of a problem have the not only potential to create problems, but also, like, what, Sheila or Karen, let's go with Karen, because these are all Karens. Karen sitting out with her groceries, waiting for her husband Ernest to come up with the milk that they forgot to buy, and she sees Peter come out of a woman's restroom. So what, does she just get to assume that Peter is a man and went to the wrong restroom, and then she gets to report that? Now Peter's, who's followed the law, is going to get dragged before a court and arrested, or, like, these things have real consequences. There are all kinds of studies done about, like, how one minor infraction, one simple arrest, can, like, basically destroy somebody's life for up to 3 years because of all of that it goes into. And so now Peter has to get a lawyer. Peter has to defend himself for following the law. And it's just because that's how I feel about it. And since we're sitting together, I can fling things at Jason now, so it's even more fun for me.
I'm so angry by all of these bills. And here's the thing, like, what really bothers me around this one is, again, you mentioned this last week, none of these are Republican principles, because this is not small government. This is really, really big, invasive government. But wasn't there just a Supreme Court ruling that said that if a baker doesn't want to bake a cake for a gay couple because it violates their religious liberties, they have the right to do that? And so that was part of the argument. But another part of the argument was, like, free businesses should be able to, and it's not an argument I agree with, but part of the argument was businesses should be able to determine who they do business with. So shouldn't under that same vein, businesses be able to determine who can use a bathroom? Like if I was a business owner, I just put up like the unisex signs on all of my bathrooms. We share bathrooms at home. We share bathrooms on airplanes. We share bathrooms in all of these other public spaces. Why are we obsessed with where people pee and poop? I don't get it. I don't get it, but I'm real angry about it.
People just want to live their lives and be who they are, and it's that simple. A lot of these folks are parents. They just want to raise their kids. The ones that aren't parents just want to live their lives. We want to travel and not have to wait in 5-hour lines and not have to be harassed when we travel. We want to be able to afford to travel without paying astronomical gas prices. It's like all these little joys are just getting stolen from us. We're losing our ability to travel. We're losing our ability to do certain things that we want to do because we have to live in this constant state of fear. And now we have to worry about who's in the bathroom with us. And it's not like, or vice versa, that somebody's going to take issue when I come out of the bathroom and think that I have effeminate features. And so I must be a woman in a man's restroom. And now I'm going to get drug in front of a court and have to defend myself and get a lawyer and spend thousands of dollars I don't have. Like, there is so much wrong. And if you don't think anything is wrong, you are severely underestimating what is going on in this country right now. And so wake up, folks, because everything we love is slipping away, and we just seem to be letting it happen.
We are 7.5 months from an election. You better vote. Better vote. And they're gonna do things to try to make people not want to vote, to make it harder to vote. We're not gonna go into that. But in living history, in this country, people have died for your right to vote. So if you support what's going on, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but if you don't support what's going on, you have an obligation to go vote.
Absolutely. And pay attention to the issues that are going on, and like really do your research if you don't know. I think Ohio is a really good case study in this. Ohio's got this bill to pull out property tax, which would cripple local governments and take absolutely necessary and needed critical services from especially people who are most in need. So pay attention, know what's going on, and get the out and vote, man, because like otherwise they win and we lose, and by we I mean all of us. So anyway, Daddy, it's been a great show. It was great, and I want to focus back on that. Let's let that sit as just the positive, amazing thing this week.
I also really like, we've invested in some new equipment. I like doing this across from you. I feel like it helps our energy because we get to play off of each other.
I like that I can throw things at you, and I like that there's wine in my mug.
With that, until next week, everyone, I'm Jason. This is Two Gay Dads.